Hi everybody, Charlie here. Today we have the pleasure of welcoming Marc Dalama from Fluent Finance Abroad to our offices, who is going to chat with me about mortgages and getting money and the things that people that we have coming to the agency always ask us about, and I then refer him to someone like Marc who will be able to help with mortgages. Marc, tell us a little bit about yourself and the sort of Grande branch here and all that. That's all been very helpful for us.
Thank you, Charlie, for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you today. My name is Marc Elliott. As Charlie said, I'm from a company called Fluent Finance Abroad. We're an independent mortgage specialist based here in the Costa del Sol. We have offices in San Pedro in Marbella, and we've recently opened up in Pueblo Nuevo in Sotogrande. We've been going for 16 years, so we've been around for a while, and so we've done a fair few mortgages in that time.
Great. Okay, Marc, thank you for that. One of the things that I get from my clients when they come and visit and they've seen a house and they want to go ahead is getting a mortgage and an agreement in principle. I always tell them, you should come with an agreement in principle before you go search. Do you have that experience a lot? And
we get that.
Prepare that?
We get that a lot, and we find it frustrating a bit where a client comes to Spain with an idea of how it could work. They find a property and then they call us and they say, yeah, we found this property at X, Y, and Z budget, whatever it may be, and say, look, now we want to sort the finance out. A lot of times we find that they haven't prepared themselves in the right way. They weren't clear as to how much it costs to buy in Spain in terms of taxes, legal fees, notaries, and land registry and stuff. They weren't clear. They've seen a lot of stuff on the internet where everyone seems to promise that you can get 70 or 80%. The reality, as a non-resident, it's generally a little bit lower than that.
About 60 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, on average, it's between 60 and 70%. Right. 70% is the ceiling. Yeah. Remember, you cannot go above that. It's the ceiling. You can only go down. So if you're basing your calculations on the maximum mortgage and you're not clear as to what the closing costs are, generally we find that people have to find more cash, and that could be a bit of a problem if you're on a deadline. For example, you may have found a property and the vendor's really keen to sell quickly and it's a really good price, but you now need to organise your finance. Organising the finance doesn't happen overnight. So what we try and do as a company, we've set up this agreement in principle service for all the different banks, is that we try and do the homework first, get the finance prepared first, so that you know what your maximum budget is. And then when you do come to Spain and you do fall in love with a property, because most people do, then you know you can.
Ready to go.
You're ready to go. And basically, once your mortgage is already set up, you've chosen your bank, you've opened your bank account, and you see a property, all you need to do is send us the nota simple, the property details, and then 2 days later we're going to value.
Right.
That means you can complete within a month.
Who does the valuation? You send a tasador or
a valuer?
Yeah,
it's
the
a
bank. The bank will do that.
Well, there's a number of different valuation companies who are registered with the Bank of Spain. Right. And the bank chooses one of those. Okay. Now, you can do external ones as well. It depends if again, valuations are an extremely important part of our job. And we can't afford to have inexperienced valuers going around and valuing properties just in case. We assess, again, this is part of the job that we do. We analyse the property as well for its merits to see if they're early on, to see if there may be an issue with the valuation. Right. And if we feel that there is, then we try and liaise with the lawyers to try and highlight the issue. And it's normally a legal thing that the lawyers can work out between the seller's lawyer and the buyer's lawyer. But sometimes, for example, with rustic properties, there was certain valuers we wouldn't send out. We would always send a specialist valuer to value rustic properties. Yeah. But that again, that's something like that. So ideally, is get your finance arranged first, and then come and look.
Yeah. for me, that would be so much easier if people came with their funds ready to go, understanding what they can spend, and then we're fishing in the pool of what they can afford, which sometimes wastes a lot of time because as you say, they extend themselves and they can't do that.
Yeah.
It seems to me another thing that you could probably help many people with is time, because you can go to a bank and knock on the door, maybe even have an account there, so you start the whole process. Going to you is a one stop, and basically you can do that. Is that right? Is that the way it works?
Our job really is to get the money from the bank. I used to work in a bank, and the guys at the bank, they're really good guys, but they are limited in time, and they do have a lot of other things that they need to focus on. For example, you work in a bank, you're targeted on selling credit cards, you're targeted on selling home insurance, all the different stuff that they have. And then one part of that is mortgages.
Right.
But one day you could be allocated, you've got to do credit cards today, and then your mortgage application, or the client's mortgage, is put to one side.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Whereas our job is forget about credit cards and things like that. We're not interested about that. We're just interested in the client's mortgage and getting it over the line as quickly as we can. So we're focused on that. Because we're focused on that, and I've done this job in the UK before, so I learned the trade over there. We've implemented a lot of stuff that brokers do in the UK and Spain to try and create our own path through all the different banks as well. And another thing, that as with specialist brokers who have been around for a while and do volume, we don't deal with branch level.
Okay.
We actually go to
Madrid or to where
the mortgage department.
Right.
So within each bank, there's a specialist mortgage department very close to underwriting, and we would go direct there, rather than dealing with the branch who have a number of different issues that they need to deal with on a daily basis.
Would you say generally that you are competitive against a bank? If I walked into a bank and then went to you, would I get a better deal if I went directly or not?
More than competitive. I'll tell you why. Because we specialise in this and we're dedicated to this, we do a large amount of volume. So we don't just do one mortgage a month or one a quarter. We do a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And when you do a lot of something and your quality of work is good and you make the job easier for the bank, because essentially that's what we do, the banks are more interested in speaking to you, because that's basically it's a channel of business for them.
Sure.
And in order for us, for the bank to convince us to use that particular bank or this particular bank, then we ask for certain terms and conditions, which are always market leading. So in the fashion industry, you have white label or exclusive. Well, we white label our own products. Where we design the product with the bank, saying our clients want this and this. They don't want this, and this. The Spanish banks are great at link selling. So putting add-ons like other products, insurance products, investment products, life insurance.
Almost obligatory, it almost comes. It's like you must have an insurance with us, not any insurance.
They say it's not obligatory, but they don't tell you about the add-ons until it's a bit too late.
Right.
So you've got a completion date, let's say within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then they start coming out with all the different things and say it's not obligatory, you can go away now, but you go, I've only got 2 weeks to sign. So, sorry about that. Whereas we cut all that out.
Okay.
So what we try and do as a business, and I think this is where we add value, is we use our knowledge, experience and contacts within the banks that we've developed over such a long time, and we would put ourselves in the client's shoes. Yeah. And what we would do is, what would we do if we were Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Okay. Knowing what we know in their situation, and then we would advise them as if we were them. And that's it. Okay.
We are in June 2022. We've got Russians hitting each other on the heads over there with the Ukrainians, and the markets are all over the place. Is it a good time to come in now? Are people nervous? Do you feel that things could get a little bit wobbly in the real estate market? I mean, it's from my point of view.
Good question, and one I'm probably not qualified to answer. But just from keeping my ear to the ground, looking at the news, looking at the financial press.
No, I don't think anyone's qualified to answer.
People are going to get nervous. Is it going to stop demand in Spain? I don't think so.
I haven't felt it. I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't felt it.
Yeah.
Interest rates, are they going to rise? Yes, they are going to rise, but how much by, we don't know. Again, there's lots of things that we don't know. I remember, I've been doing mortgages for 20 years, before 2011, it was quite normal to pay a 4% or 5% for a mortgage.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near that yet. So money's still cheap if you can look back at the historical averages of mortgages. So at this moment in time, we're not seeing a downturn in inquiries. We're speaking to many agents that they're all saying that there's a lack of product. Yeah. So, you know, maybe if there's a little bit of turmoil, maybe more people will be encouraged to sell. You know, I don't know. But as long as, for me, as long as the banks remain healthy, the real estate market will remain healthy. When the credit crunch came, the banks stopped lending, and that's when everything fell off a cliff. As long as the banks remain healthy, which I think they will do, then I'm not particularly concerned.
Cool.
On this stage.
Great, Mark. Thank you very much. I think that's been very clear, and you know, we've covered a lot of issues. We don't want to bore everybody going on and on, but you know, if you do need a mortgage, Mark here can help you out. The details will be down on the in the writing of the video. Call us, call Mark. We're here to help.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
Thank you.